In Europe in the mid to late 1800s, interest in Japanese aesthetics and goods became widespread. This European and American fascination and obsession with Japan is known as Japonisme. The influence of Japanese art and aesthetics began when the United States' Commodore Matthew Perry forced the long-isolated Japan to open its borders in 1853. Soon after, Japanese goods began to infiltrate Europe. Japonisme became amplified in 1867 when Japan participated in a World's Fair for the first time, the Parisian Exposition Universelle. World's Fairs were an opportunity for countries to show off their technical development and culture to a large general audience. The 1867 Exposition Universelle was the first time that the public was widely introduced to Japanese art. Many Japanese goods were displayed, as well as architecture and interior design through its pavilion. Europeans on a large scale were exposed to new art that was unlike anything they had ever seen before. Japanese art was exotic and unfamiliar to Europeans, adding to its allure. People sought out and collected all kinds of Japanese art and goods, such as fans, fashion, and woodblock prints. The interest in Japanese goods was not limited to the general public, however, as artists were also heavily inspired by the aesthetics of Japanese art. Most well-known of these artists are European and American fine artists. Vincent van Gogh, Claude Monet, Mary Cassatt, and Henri Toulouse-Lautrec are among some of the most recognizable artists whose works reflected what they saw in Japanese woodblock prints, with some even recreating prints almost exactly. The incorporation of Japanese formal qualities and subject matter came at a time where art also began to shift away from traditions held by academies, such as the École des Beaux-Arts. Woodblock prints were more flat, brightly colored, and often had the composition brought to the front of works, which was emulated by European artists. Nature, theater, and scenes of domestic life were some of the most popular subjects in Japanese woodblock prints that 19th century European prints and paintings mimicked. While World's Fairs gave Japanese art a platform, they also fostered Orientalism by promoting a more exotic, consumable version of Japan. This distorted representation of Japan is what European artists often emulated and emphasized in their own art. The European imitations of Japanese art are problematic, especially by today's standards, but were an incredibly important moment in the history of art, reflecting growing globalization.